Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to today's video where we're talking about the Recovery Startup Business Credit. You may have heard of it called the Startup uh, Recovery Payroll Credit, but it is a business tax credit for startup businesses. Startup businesses are new businesses that started their business on or after February 15th. So there's not a lot of talk about this particular credit. So I felt it was important to share this video, share resources, how to determine if you're eligible, how to apply for this credit, and how easy it is to get it. But there's limited time for you all to take the opportunity to get this tax credit. This is more than just a tax credit, it's a refundable tax credit. What that means, it is money that is given back to you from the IRS in the form of a check that is utilized in your business in a number of different ways. What we call is unrestricted. So there's no restriction on the ways that you can use this funding. So I will be also talking about the different ways that you can use the money for your business. Now, this recovery startup business credit is significant for a lot of businesses that are still challenged with the impacts of COVID-19, and also those that are trying to grow and expand their businesses. With this credit, you can qualify for up to $100,000. So I'm going to be talking about the qualifiers, but I just want to welcome you all in to She Boss Talk. If you are new here, welcome. Let us know who you are, where you're from, and what your business is. We really want to know. Welcome to the community. This is where we share information that is going to help you as an entrepreneur or business owner to be able to build wealth and access the programs you need to make more money in your business. There's so many programs out there, but a lot of times there are people talking about them or connecting you to these resources so that you can get access to them while they are available. These programs are available, but they're not always, okay? So they're either on a cycle or they're only set for a particular time. And so you have to know about it, be able to check if you're eligible for it, and apply before the time expires. So we know that this particular program has an expiration date. So this is a COVID relief program. So for those of you that are thinking there's no more COVID relief out there, that is not true. But we want to make sure that you are well informed, because there's also a lot of misinformation around these programs and a lot of scams. But this is a real program, okay, that is under the American Rescue Plan Act. This program launched at the same time as EIDL and PPP. Some of those significant COVID relief programs that many of us benefited from, this came out at the same time. Now, this program is under the program you've heard me talk about before, which is the Employee Retention Tax Credit. But this is a special carve out called the Recovery Startup Business Credit, where you can get up to $100,000. Now, this is for those that had employees in W-2 employees in 2022 and or 2021. And this particular credit is applicable to quarters 3 and quarters 4 of 2021. You can get this credit and the regular credit. So I'll talk about this one first, and then I'll close it out with the regular employee retention tax credit, because you can take advantage of both if you meet the qualifications for both of these programs. So I see you all tuning in. Thank you so much. If you can do me a favor, this would be very helpful for me. Give this a thumbs up, hit that like button. That will be very helpful so more people see this. Also, share this video out and tag someone in this video that you believe may qualify for this particular program. There are millions of businesses that are out there that they are in need of funding every day. We have thousands that contact us all the time, regularly asking us, where is funding? Where is funding? So this is one. And this is one where millions of businesses they qualify, they just don't know about it. They think, or they've been misinformed. They think it's a scam, or they don't know how to access the program, meaning they don't know how to see if they're eligible and to apply to get these funds back from the IRS. This is a payroll credit. So you had to have employees on payroll in order to qualify for this particular program. Now, Why am I talking about this? Because we have and continue to help many, many, many businesses from for-profits and nonprofits. So this is applicable to for-profits and nonprofits. And so that's significant because that opens up the door. So even churches can be eligible for this particular tax credit if they had employees on payroll. So let's get into what this is. So per the American Rescue Plan Act, this business credit is open to those that have their doors open during the pandemic. They can qualify to receive this particular credit. Your startup may be eligible if you meet these following criteria. Okay, so just think for yourself and those businesses that you patronize, you visit them all the time, could potentially be eligible. So ask yourself, did you start your business on or after February the 15th of 2020? Okay. That is one of the requirements. We know that was the cutoff date for PPP, and the cutoff date for EIDL was January 31st. So most of you all missed out on that opportunity. But if you started your business on or after February 15th of 2020, you are eligible. Number 2, your annual gross receipts. Right? Annual gross receipts, annual gross revenue does not exceed $1 million for individual 2020 and 2021 taxes. Okay, so it must not exceed the 1 million mark. There are millions of businesses where their revenues, their gross receipts were under $1 million. Okay, so just think about that for yourself. Were your gross receipts under $1 million? And then the third thing is you have one or more W-2 employees that exclude you. So you, the owner, excluded, and any of your family members as the majority owner of your business. Those are the only qualifications. Okay, so let me clarify really quickly to tell you how huge this is. What this means is there is no requirement for this special startup credit that says that you have to have any revenue reduction, okay, like you do with the regular credit, right? So you can qualify for more quarters if you meet those other criteria, but to get the $100,000 or up to $100,000, none of those criteria have to be met. This is an automatic credit, right? It's automatic. Once you apply, you provide your documentation. You only have to be able to show that your business started on or after February 15th of 2020, your revenues not exceed $1 million, and that you have one or more W-2 employees. You don't have to show that your business was impacted by COVID. They already know that because your business was new, that you didn't qualify for some of the other programs, and you were already impacted by starting a new business in COVID, right? So that's how significant this is. So just think about the possibility of getting $100,000 for your business, or even $50,000 or $25,000 for your business because you are a startup business. Okay, so an example of this, let's just say you launched a food delivery business in April 1st of 2020 with 3 W-2 employees, and you earn $500,000 for 2020 and 2021 tax years. Then you're considered a recovery startup business, and you would be the perfect candidate for the employee retention tax credit for this particular credit. Okay, so for this credit, again, is it applicable only to quarters 3 and 4 of 2021, and $50,000 maximum for each quarter. Okay, that's how you get the total of $100,000 that you can qualify for this particular credit. So again, no revenue reduction, no shutdown needed to qualify for this particular tax credit. This applies to only quarters 3 and 4 with the maximum of $50,000 for each quarter would give you the $100,000. This is so huge. So that's why I say it is so important to share out this information, tag business owners that you know, that may qualify for this particular program. Now, let's talk about some of the uses of this money, because that question comes up a lot. These are unrestricted funds. So you can decide how to use these funds in your business, how you want to do it. If you want to use it on payroll, this is just some examples, hiring or retaining staff, offering them bonuses. You can use it towards operational costs, getting new technology, adding on to your current business. So if you have a brick and mortar and you want to add a space or expand the space that you have there, it is unrestricted, which is different than idle and PPP, where they have restrictions. You can only use it for on particular costs or expenses in your business. This one, if you want to use it to go do some marketing, you can do that. If you want to do direct mail or billboard or social media marketing, if you want to put some towards ads, there is no restriction on how you can use it on your business. So you let me know in the comments if you were to qualify for this credit, what would you use the money for? Again, this is up to $100,000. That is huge for any business, especially a small to medium sized business, to not have it be restricted. You can use it any way that you want to in your business is significant. That is so huge. So again, this is the recovery startup business credit or tax credit. It is a payroll tax credit. It is a reward for you for retaining employees. Okay. That's what it is for. It is a payroll tax credit. Okay. And so, not that your regular income taxes are irrelevant, but the focus is on your payroll. Did you pay payroll? Did you pay payroll taxes? If you did, the IRS is giving money back to you for you paying payroll up to $100,000. This is huge. I'm telling you where the money is. This is COVID relief. This is stimulus money. Okay. And although it is grant-like, it is not a grant. It's grant-like. It's a tax credit, refundable, where you get that money. The IRS is going to send you a check. So once you apply, so let's talk about how to get access to this credit. In the description, in the caption of this video, you will see we have our email, ercsupport@shebosstalk.com, and the link where to start and get your application started. Okay. So you can email us. We like that you email us so we can first have contact with you. We have a dedicated team that has been working with businesses for going on 2 years now, helping businesses get access to the employee retention tax credit of all kinds, whether they're startups or not. We have helped companies secure this credit, both for-profits and nonprofits, securing over 15 million in credits. That is huge, but that's not enough. So know that there's a deadline on these credits. Okay, so you only have to if for this tax credit, you can only claim quarters 3 and 4. Your deadline would be April 15th of 2025. Okay. So we're at the middle of 2023 at this point, and we never know. I said again, the Congress is always looking at ways to cut these programs because they feel like people are not utilizing them. I mean, if it came up in discussion with regards to the budget that they passed, that they were going back and forth, and they finally passed it, but they're always looking at where are we going to get the money from? And it keeps coming up, the COVID relief. What does that mean? That means that there's tons of COVID money still out there that hasn't been used for one reason or another, but it's not the fault of the business owner. The business owner needs to get any and all monies that has been allocated for them. Okay, but if they feel like no one is applying, then they're going to cut it. They already did that. Okay, so we don't want them to do it anymore. That's why it's important to share out this information. You never know who you know that needs this money, that qualifies. They just don't know. Maybe they're not on social media. Nobody else is sharing it with them. No one else has told them about it. Right? Even their accountants and their tax professionals and their bookkeepers has not told them that they may qualify for this credit. Okay. but you can come in and save the day by just sharing the information. That's all we're doing, is educating them on what's available, and lead them, help them to be able to apply. So our team, again, can help you apply for the tax credit, help you gather all of your documents so that you can upload them. And our team analyzes your documents to determine, one, if you qualify, and two, how much of the credit you qualify for. That's important. I mean, even if I could qualify for 5,000 or 10,000, I'll take it. Okay, because the point is, you want to take this money and go make more money with it. But unfortunately, I don't qualify for it because I'm an employee. I'm my own employee of the company. So unless they change that, I would not qualify for it. But I know many of you all qualify for it, right? And many of the people that you patronize business. If you're going to the hair salon or spas, or you're going out to that, hometown restaurant for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, those are the small businesses that qualify for this credit. They have employees. Most retail shops have employees. They would qualify for this tax credit. If you're talking about, you're taking your kids to daycare, where do you go to for your medical care, for your dental care, for your eye care, your foot care, right? Your back, if you have using a chiropractor. These are businesses you want to think of when you patronize, you're spending your money there. Just ask them, has your business been impacted by COVID-19? Most likely, if you're going there, you know that it has. I just want to inform you about a tax credit you may be eligible for. Go check out this video. People do it all the time. And believe me, people are so surprised that after so long, somebody finally shared with them, and they said until then, they never knew that the program exists. So we don't want the program to close and millions of businesses still not get their money that they're entitled to. Or they snatch it, but the government snatches it back and they still don't get the money that they're entitled to. Okay. And especially among minority businesses and disadvantaged businesses, these are the ones that are often left out of these opportunities. So please, let's share this information with our peers. Sharing is caring. You can make such a big impact, change the life of a business owner and their business. You just don't know where a business owner is in their business. They're so selfless. Most of them don't even take a salary for themselves. And this money will go to great work to help them pay their employees that do great work for them, right? So it'll help them to be able to stay in business. It'll help them grow or be able to expand the business. Whatever it is, we need to be able to help support small businesses. Okay. So again, this is the recovery startup business credit up to $100,000 that is applicable to quarters 3 and 4 of 2021. And you only have until April 15th of 2025 to claim this credit. And then it will close. The program will be closed down. Now, the IRS is taking a while to issue the money. So the process to actually find out if you qualify, how much you qualify for, and to file is very short. So between 3 and 4 weeks. But the IRS is the one that's taking the longest. So they just hired a whole lot of people. They got to get all of these people trained. They may or may not be properly trained. We don't know. But we know anytime there's a mass hiring, there's adjustments that have to be made. You have to get people acclimated to the requirements. And these are complicated requirements, even for people they're hiring within the IRS. Okay. And so those are things that we're dealing with as a team to help support you through the process, right? So we keep those communication lines open from beginning to the end, making sure that you get your money so that you can put it to work in your business and go serve better the people that you are called to serve. Now, in addition to the recovery startup credit, you may be also eligible for the regular employee retention tax credit. Okay. So I said it's automatic. You don't have to prove you had any revenue reduction or you had any shutdowns or anything like that. That's huge. But you may be entitled to even more money. Okay. if you started again on or after February 15th, if you apply for other quarters, and for which you would then need to prove that you had a revenue reduction or some supply chain issue or a partial shutdown, full or partial shutdown of your business between 2020 and 2021. So for any 2020 credits, if you are eligible for them, you need to file for your claim before April 15th of 2024. So that's even sooner. So anybody that is out there, and there's millions of those bodies, okay, businesses that are eligible for the regular employee retention tax credit, you have until April the 15th of 2024. That's around the corner. It is fast approaching. There's not a lot of time to get access to this credit. So that's why I come here regularly giving the updates so that you all can get your applications in to see if you are eligible for this tax credit. And then we can determine how much you're eligible for and help you file your claim. Get the claim filed. Once you file your claim, you're good. But don't wait till the last minute till the program is closed to try to file your claim. We have people that do that all the time, or they're not aware. They don't become aware until it's too late. That's why it's important that we continue to share this information and with as many business owners that we can, because this credit is significant. Now, with the regular credit, you can qualify for up to $26,000 per employee. It's not per business, it's per employee. So how significant this is this is an example. I think the highest that we've helped a company be able to get back in claims is $1 million. Okay. So there's some above that, there's some below that, anywhere in between. Okay. But if you can get something is better than nothing. But we will help you determine if you're eligible and what it is and how much it is that you qualify for. So, I mean, even we've helped people qualify, they may have only qualified for 1,000. Everybody's business is different. And the calculation, right? Your business is different. When you got started, this business is different. Who you have on payroll, how many people you have on payroll is different. How much you pay them is different, and how often you pay them is different. So that's why it's individual to you, the business owner, and your payroll records that we look at to determine how much you're going to qualify for based on the set criteria of the maximums of credits that you can get per quarter for your business or for your employees. So I see your company questions that are out here. Are there any more grants to apply for? Yes, there's always grants to apply for. You in the description, all of our resources we always put in our description. So any other types of funding or grants that you're looking for, just click on the caption and go there. We have our grant list that you can subscribe to for $10 a month. And we source out grants. We keep them updated. We send out monthly reminders, updates, and tips. So look forward to that information that is there, right? So this is just one program, one COVID. So again, this is the federal COVID program. This is administered under the U.S. Treasury Department, which is known as the IRS. So when you get your check, it will come from the U.S. Treasury Department. Okay. So I'm seeing some people saying they would use it for payroll. That's a big one. Marketing, because payroll is a company's, once you have payroll, it becomes like one of your biggest expenses. Using it to grow their business, and you want to make sure that you're very specific there. Yes, only 2020 and 2021 for the startup recovery credit that is applicable for 2021, not 2022. They have not extended it to 2022 or 2023, but you can claim those back years now. You only have until 2024 to claim 2020, and you only have until the year 2025 in April 15th to claim your 2021 credit. So I hope that clarifies that. Someone else is saying that they will add additional virtual office space. So whether it's virtual space or brick and mortar space, it's unrestricted in how you use the funds. Okay, so we have a barber shout out to the barber that's been in operation for 5 years, but officially started in September 22. So if you officially started in 2022, then this would not be the program for you. You would want to apply for other grant programs. But what I would say this is that other barbers, other hairstylists, some have employees, a lot of them do not, a lot of them work by 1099s, but I don't want to assume that. So, please share this information to your fellow barbers, barbershop owners, because they may qualify for this particular credit. Someone else is saying is that they plan to revamp. Okay, yeah, you plan to revamp your barbershop, right? So there's a lot of funding out here available for that. What about if you don't have 5 employees? You don't need 5 employees. So again, depending on who you have help you. So be very careful. That's why we have been educating. We go around the country. We do workshops and webinars on this particular program to educate people. Not everybody out here saying that they help with this are legitimate. There are real scammers out here that would tell you you don't need employees and they can get you the credit, or they're telling you and it's a grant and it's not. I mean, they would use partially correct information to try to trick you, right? So I understand why people may be a little cautious and leery. We've encountered those people and we've been able to reassure them and move forward with helping them claim their tax credit. But it's because we're reputable. We've been out here doing this from day one when COVID hit. So we're not just new to this coming in. We are experts in this. We educate on a regular basis and go around the country doing this. So you don't need to have 5 W-2 employees. You only need 1. What happens is that depending on who you go to help you file for this claim, they may say they will only help you if you have 5 employees or more. Why? Because it's a lot of work. That's why most people aren't doing it. They cannot do it themselves. It's a very complex tax credit. And you have to make sure you're in compliant. You need experts that can help you through the process. Okay. So if they're doing that, they're taking their time, and it's a lot of time, a lot of man hours per one company that they're working with. So that's why a lot of times your accountants and bookkeepers and tax specialists haven't told you, or they're not helping you with it, is because they just don't have the capacity to do so. That's why many of them partner with us, right? Or the accountant that's all they would do is just help with this tax credit because it's full-time business. So they may say, okay, it's not even worth our time if you don't have at least 5 employees, right? Because we don't get paid on the front end. We're helping you secure your credit, and we get paid on the back end. That's a risk that we take because, unfortunately, although this is a great credit and we have helped people get their money back, can you believe it? There are people that don't pay us. They get their check and don't pay us. I mean, so, and then, then you have to send them to collections. Is crazy. Don't do that. If you get your money, pay the people back that help you get it. I mean, that's just part of being, a good human being and a good business owner. But scams go both ways. There's business owners, unfortunately, that are scammers as well, that commit fraud. They or they're greedy and they'll work with fraudsters to try to circumvent the system. And it's only going to come back to bite you. So again, you only need 1 employee, 1 W-2 employee to qualify. And then again, that would determine how much you qualify for. So then you determine if it's worth you moving forward with, if the amount makes sense for you, right? So if it's $100, you may say it's not worth it, and somebody else may say it is, right? If it's $1,000, you may say, I don't know who would turn down $1,000, but people do for various reasons. So that is all up to you, what you do. But for us, if you have 1 employee and it's not you, it cannot be you as the majority owner, and it cannot be any of your family members that are W-2 employees, unfortunately. Um, I don't know why they made that decision, wrote the rule that way, but they wrote the rule that way, right? So my thing is, if you're paying them as an employee like any other employee, you should get the credit. But I don't have a say in that. I can just voice my concern, but ultimately it's their rules, and until they change them, we have to go by what it is that their rules are saying. So what if you didn't have any employees? If you didn't have any employees, so say you had 1099s, there are a lot of businesses that have 1099 employees. This is not the credit for you. This is for those that had W-2 employees that actually pay payroll taxes. You do not pay payroll taxes on contractors because they're not your employee. They're their own business owner. So in that case, you would want to go to our grant list, subscribe to that for all of the other grants that you can apply for. So someone else is asking, they have a LLC, self-employed, no employees. So I just answered that question. Is it something you have to pay back? No, like PPP loan. No, it is not money you have to pay back. It is not a loan. This is a tax credit. So many of you are familiar, especially if you have children, when you file your regular taxes and you pay more in taxes than you actually owe, and there's a credit. Like you may qualify for certain credits and they're refundable, right? Some just reduce your tax liability, but when they're refundable, that means whatever you paid over what you've already owed, then they give you that money back, right? So we see that in a lot of cases, and that is not always, it's not guaranteed, right? So it's year by year, your circumstances change, but that's an example of how this works. So when you get the money, right? So this payroll tax credit, the business owners are actually getting the money. It's not just reducing your liability. It's money back from what you paid in your payroll taxes that you can use any way that you want to in your business. And so let's talk about PPP for a second. Because you can qualify for this in PPP, just for those that are not familiar or maybe hearing this for the first time in a long time, because originally you could not have received PPP and receive this tax credit. That changed. So there have been many iterations of changes with regards to this tax credit. That was one of the significant ones. However, they will ask you for your PPP information, right? Because that is considered when they're determining how much you qualify for. In a few instances, we had it where the credit and because the credit amount and the PPP it canceled itself out, because you had so much in PPP, or was equal to the amount you would have gotten in ERC, right? And so you don't duplicate funds for the same period. So they will let you know that, again, if you qualify for it, or because of your PPP, if it's equal to zero or not. But it's worth seeing if you're eligible for, and seeing how much you're eligible for. Okay. So again, this is not a loan. It is a tax credit. It's money that you don't have to pay back. So that's why I say it's grant-like. It's not a grant. It's a tax credit. Okay, so shout out to all of those coming on here for the replay. So if you come on after the live, please just comment #replay so we know that you came in for the live. If you have questions after the live, I will circle back to answer those questions. Again, this is huge. This is like one of the last remaining COVID related relief programs that is out there at the federal level. There are many more at the state level that I would encourage you all to look into for your particular businesses. They're still out there, and they're state by state, city by city. Like even in Ohio, I see often different cities are rolling out programs, or different counties will roll out a COVID relief program. So these programs are still being rolled out across the country, and we have many of those that are on our grant tracker list. So we actually list those grant opportunities that are in the state, and there are many COVID-related grants that are still in your states that you may not know about because you don't know about. They're not advertised, or maybe you're not well connected. You're not networking. You're not connected to the business centers and associations that I tell you is so important to get involved with. Or maybe you have not reached out to your state, county, or city yet. But all of those government entities have a business unit that supports entrepreneurs and business owners. So it's in your benefit to tap into them to see what programs that they offer. That's how I found out about them. I was able to get a grant at every level, city, county, and state, because I'm tuned in. Had I not been tuned in or inquisitive or doing research, searching, calling, emailing, I would have missed out on those opportunities. Again, as business owners, we have to, take initiative. Don't assume that they're going to come to you and just knock on your door, show up in front of your laptop and say, hey, we have a grant opportunity. One of the tools, our best-selling tools, is our grant cheat sheet. And I remember one of the ladies was watching us early on in 2020, where I explained how important it is to tap into your local area, and how I was able to get a county grant and what you need to do. Everything that I did and do to get grants is in the cheat sheet. So she took it, read it, reviewed it, called her county like I told her to county. She did exactly what I said verbatim, and came back and said what she did verbatim. Got on the phone. They were not advertising this. She asked them, is there a grant available? And the answer happened to be yes. So just think about it. If there's a grant available and you didn't even take initiative to call or email and ask if there was an opportunity available, they could say, no, not right now, or we have one coming up, but you wouldn't even know if you don't call them or speak to somebody. She spoke to somebody. They said, yeah, we do have one, and it's a $10,000 grant, and this is what we need from you. Had she not gotten the cheat sheet, she wouldn't have been ready. Because before watching our videos and getting our cheat sheet, she had no clue of what she needed in her business, what they would be asking for her to share in her business, to validate her business and her financials and other things. But she happened to have it, and she was able to provide it in quick amount of time. And in less than a week from the time that she called, she had $20,000 in her account. So these things happen every day, people, every day. And the money is out there, and it's not just COVID relief, it's other grants. But I wanted to come out here to share this one particular one with you, because the ERC is huge. It's one of the largest ones out there. It's significant. When you talk about $26,000 per employee in your company. And for 2020, you had to have a maximum of 100 full-time FTEs. And in 2021, you can have a maximum of 500 full-time employees. There is no maximum on part-time employees. So if you have part-time employees, you can still qualify for this program. Okay. So again, this is the Employee Retention Tax Credit. There's a special carve out for the Recovery Startup Tax Credit for up to $100,000 for startups who started February 15th or after February 15th of 2020 or after. It's huge. The money is still the billions, right? So they're estimating, but there's no cap on the funds. If you are eligible, you get it as long as you apply and file before the deadline. So there's nothing to say like PPP and EIDL, oh, we ran out of money, because they did. It is uncapped. So they just estimate how many billions, but that is irrelevant. It doesn't matter. That it will not run out. The time will run out. The funds will not run out. If you are eligible, they are here for you to claim while the time is available. But when the deadline is up, the deadline is up, and the deadlines are quick approaching. So I'm just going to remind you again, just ask again to share this video out wherever you are, to tag someone, the business. If you want to tag, if you're on Facebook or YouTube and you know a business, tag their handle in here. Right? You tag them, they will see it in the video and watch. That is so important. There's too much money out here that we're not getting simply because we lack the knowledge.